Yeah, so let us try to understand the layout here and again, go planning methods here. So today I would try to spend time on copy, right, in the planning function, planning method, that copy, and we'll look at that how the copy functionality works, and there are detailed steps on that copy, and it is very easy to understand, and then we will go and try to execute this transaction. Okay. So basically we have looked at like planning level, which will decide where do we plan, and planning package, the values which are the data segments which forms the planning package. And then planning method, pretty much you use to enter, you have the layout, pretty much layout, you will use that and enter the data, and once you enter the data, pretty much you can use KE25 reports here, right, in order to see how the data is posted, the line layout, line item report you can see using the KE25, right. And as I mentioned, that planning layout, the transaction code KE14, you can use that for creating the layout and using that layout in the planning method. And the same layout you can also use here in the display, so that system will display what data is posted. Okay.
Yeah.
So today we want to use copy functionality, right? So when you say copy, what you are talking of? So copy of the planning data, right? Obviously, you cannot copy the data into the actuals, right? Actuals is always posted through the other modules, right? Copy functionality comes into the picture only in the case of planning.
Yeah.
So again, this same copy functionality, like cost center accounting or internal orders, wherever the planning is there, the same kind of functionality is available for copy, even in COPA also. Okay. So when we are talking of copy, you can copy plan to plan, right? Or you can copy actual to plan. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
So plan to plan means, like, you remember that version 0, version 1 to version 0, you can do that, right?
Yeah.
And actuals to plan means, like, you can you can copy actuals to version 1 and then make some modifications, and then you can copy into plan data. So I mean that way you can have the planning. So let's go a little bit further, right? So so plan with copy means, like, for example, you had a product old plan, let's say product group, product 1 quantity this much, product group product 2 quantity this much. So pretty much you have all these values, right, in an old plan, right? And then you can take that entire value, right, and then you can copy into a new version, right? So that is what, like, plan with copy, right? So the old plan will come as a new plan itself. Okay. So that way, I'll show you in SAP, but that's what you can talk of plan copy, right? So let us go a little bit details here, right? So whenever you are talking of planning, right, the copying in the plan, so pretty much you are taking some reference data, right? That's what you are going to copy into the plan, right?
Yeah.
Reference data has to be there. Otherwise, what is that you will copy, right? So that's what the copy, the reference data. So here, in this example, let's say you are talking of actuals, right? And period 5, and then you are saying that, okay, customer group P1 and customer group P2, I have order quantity of 3000 and order quantity of 4000 here, which was actual data, right? So this actual data I want to copy, right? So this actual data I want to copy into the plan. So where do you want to copy the plan? Always when you say plan, then the important thing is that I have a plan, right?
Yeah.
And the plan is always with what? There is a version, right? And again, in which period you want to copy? same like 5. You can take 5 or whatever you want to take, you can take. But in this example, 5. And what is that you want to copy? Same, C1 and C2, right?
Yeah.
So end of the copy, what will happen? Now this data which was there in C1 and C2, right? For the order quantity 3000 and 4000, this actual data will become planned data, right? So
yeah.
Right now up to here only you watch, don't look at that bottom portion. I'll come and talk to you on that, right? So
yeah.
Is it clear, and do you have any questions here on this?
Yeah, this is clear. This functionality you are using just to copy from some actual data to plan data.
Yes.
Similarly, you can even copy from one plan data to plan data.
Oh yeah. That's obviously it is possible. That should not be a problem.
Provided you have some plan data in that old version.
That's correct.
And
if you don't have data, how can you plan? How can you copy, right?
You cannot copy.
Right?
I mean to say, this data got populated in the actual fields when the actual transaction happened in this old period or the existing period, whatever it is.
It can again, there is no limitation, right? It can happen. What I mean to say is that this data is a reference data, right? In this example, this is actual. It can be anything. It can be any period. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. But you are trying to copy that value into your plan value. That is important. So this actual will go into plan version 100 in this case.
How many versions we can use? Like it is showing 100 means we can have 999 versions, or?
Yeah, you can have 999 and again ABCDs, right? So you can. I think pretty much you can. Yeah. 999 is itself is a huge number, right?
Yeah.
Right. Why did you use so many? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So and there is a so let us go and look at SAP and then try to understand how this is there, right? So let us look at again. Let us create another planning level here, right? And with a simple example of customer group itself. Okay. So let's say let me take. I'm creating a planning level, right?
Yeah.
Right. So just to keep it very simple, I just taken like customer group level plan. Okay. And nothing else I'm giving, just company code I'm giving here, and directly I'm going and giving the customer group itself, right? Nothing else.
This is what I had in my mind. Now if you're doing customer group and you have taken company code,
so which means you are planning at you are planning two levels.
Planning at customer group and company code level, but you have other characteristics like distribution channel, division. All those will get updated automatically based on the customer group.
No. Unless you do that all the mechanism of distribution and all that, but otherwise.
Yeah, once you do the distribution to customer level, then automatically your division and distribution channel will get updated.
That's correct. So in this case, it is just we are using just customer group.
So still you need to do the distribution to customer level.
Yes.
And it is a must to do. Yeah, it is a must step.
It all depends on the company requirement.
Yeah, if a company says I just wanted to see profit center level, you do that one and leave it there. You will not do the customer and then the distribution channel and all those things.
That's correct.
Yeah, perfect. Now, okay.
Yeah, so I can take out the company code also. Just keep only customer group for your understanding purpose, right?
Yeah.
And then pretty much we can go ahead and so in the selection I will give like for period 007, right? and 007. Right. So this is the period I want to plan, right? This is the period I want to plan, and record type I want to plan F, right? And version I want to plan 100. If 100 is there, right? So that is the way I'm planning. Okay. So let me go ahead and try to do so that particular group I just created, customer group, right? So now I'm creating planning package there under that, right?
Yeah.
So I can have only planning package 1, right? It need not have so let's say to simplicity.
Yeah, to simply.
Group, yeah, I'll just take 2, right? 01 and 02.
Yeah, enough for now.
Right, and then save that. I'm done with that planning package, right? And now when I double click on here, say I want to I don't want to enter any plan data directly. I want to copy. That's what I want to see here.
Okay.
Right. So right now, if I go and see the data, let's go and see the data. I'm going to KE24, right? And in the record tab here, right? And let's see in the under version, right? And if anything is there here.
Yeah, you want.
Okay, so there is a lot of data, right?
A lot of data.
Yeah, lot of data is there, but let me pull that.
96.
Yeah, so because the old data I have given, right? So let us take 7 2012, right? And 7 2012. Let's see here. So there is 2 records are there, right, in the planning data. So let me see anything is for the customer group. Okay. So the customer group is null, right? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right. So which means there is a plan, but that is related to company code, that level, right? So it's not, nothing is there customer group level. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
Right now, if you see here in the customer group, there is a 0 value. Nothing is there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we are going to do is, right, we are going to copy, right, actual data into the planning. Okay.
Okay.
So let me go. This is a KE25, right?
Yeah.
This transaction is a KE25. Which
KE25 is I thought it is a planning data.
This is planning data. That's what. Yeah. So right now there is no plan, right? Nothing is there. Do you agree? 0.
Yeah, we don't have it right now. That's what you are showing
right now. Yeah, that's what I'm showing right now. And same time, I want to show you actual data also. Right? I'm going to the K24, and again F, and currency type I'll take 10, right? And then period today, this period, right? And then let me pull that characteristics customer group C1, right? So that particular thing I'll say I have 01 to 02. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, just remember, right, you are talking of actuals now. Okay.
Yeah, 24 now.
So, yeah. So let's look at this. So actually, I posted actuals for these 2 groups. Okay. That's what I wanted to show you that first. Okay. Let me pull that information here. Right. So I pull the customer group. Customer group I am pulling here. Okay. And then what I posted was order quantity. Okay, so let me just pull that order quantity. Ordered quantity. Okay. So now if I go and see the data, right? So ordered quantity, and I think not order quantity. Let me see what is the value that I have. Invoiced quantity, not order quantity. Okay.
Okay.
So I will just pull that invoiced quantity so that you will see the value there, right? So invoiced quantity is here. So that invoice quantity I'll take there here. just next to customer group. Okay. So now if you see, you very clearly you can see, right, 3 and 4, 3000 and 4000 quantity. Okay. This is again what? It's actual. Again, just I am reminding you on that, right? So this is KE 24.
See, now you can copy from customer group in actual line items to customer group in plan line items, and you are able to copy. You will be able to copy invoiced quantity to the planned order quantity also. Huh?
Yeah, so that's what we are going to do it right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So I want to copy this actual data into my plan, right? That is my objective, right? So this is my actual, right? This actual should go to my plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that is the objective of this exercise, right? So I just wanted to show you first the data, what we are going to do, right? This is actual, right? And we are going to do this into the plan. So you have seen another transaction code where you looked at the data, right? So there is nothing. You see here, just let me. So here there is nothing is there. You see, customer group is not there, right?
Yeah.
This is K25, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me go back to the planning screen. So now I want to copy, right? Again, I am just creating a parameter set here, right?
Yeah.
So parameter set, I can say C1, copy customer group actual to plan. Okay. So now here, this is the place you need to very carefully observe, right? So now what parameters we are going to select and how we are going to select it, right? So now here, pretty much you are saying copy values, right? It's not add, but just copy whatever is there, just copy values, right? And then you can pretty much entire year you can do, like fiscal year shift here 12 periods if you tell. System will back 12 periods it will take, or you can just take from period. So let's to keep it simple, let's take it from this period, right, to this period. And here again this is what the important thing is, that this is the reference data, right? This is what we are trying to do, right? That is what you need to observe. And then you have an option here, whether you are copying actuals, or plan data, right? So these two are plan data, right? But what we are copying right now, we are copying actuals, right? Remember that actuals I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
And actuals at the same time, what is the record type of the actuals? Say actuals also can be record type, anything, right? It can be A or it can be F or whatever, right? So in our example, we said whatever that we have in our planning package, the same thing you take it, right? I'm not giving any other record type, because the same planning package record type, which is F, is the one which I want to copy.
Okay.
That's it. So right now, don't worry about this section. Which is transformation of the characteristics. This I will tell in a moment, right? But right now let's try to understand this particular thing. Okay. So I am copying values, right? So I have to take the value field. What is that value field that you want to copy? I want to copy invoiced quantity. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
Invoiced quantity. So I want to copy invoiced quantity from actual data from the record type F for the period which is 7 to 7 into my planning, which is my planning package tells that the planning package is like my time frame, right? I've given the time frame and everything. So I'm just saving this as is. Okay, and again I am going back here. So at the planning package level, I said this is the customer group 0102, and this is the period 007 and 007, and my record type is F and version is 100. Into this I am copying my copy data, which is like I will go here again, display parameter set, and then here this is the place I am telling the system, right, do this, right, all this particular activity.
And what is the period shift?
Yeah, I will come and explain about that period shift in a moment, right? So like right now, if you get a confusion, like you can clearly take from period to to period. But if you are doing copy for entire 1 year, you can simply say period shift 12 months. Then it will take 12 months of previous year into your copy, right? So that is what the period shift functionality is. But here let's keep it simple right now. 007 to 007. Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing, important thing is that there is always you have the test run. You can have the test run and the production run. Right now it is in test run mode, and let us go and execute this. Right. So now plan method is executed, and then you say execute it. Right. It is trying to do, and then so here there is an error coming. Quantities with different units cannot be added together. Right.
Yeah.
So this is what the message is coming. Let us analyze this. And let us analyze this. What could be the reason for this error? Okay. You have to do the unit of measure here. So then that particular problem will go away. And I added that particular characteristic here from the list of our characteristics list, right? This is kind of value field, but that is a mandatory field. Okay. And then I select that and go into my my package, right?
So unit quantity is also one more characteristic we need to define, or it is already a standard?
It's already standard SAP given, so you don't require to worry about that.
Okay, no need to worry.
Yeah. So it's like system is trying to see trying to copy, and when it is not finding that unit of measure field, then it is getting confused, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm going ahead and executing here, still in the test mode, and it will show you. Okay, now this is successful, right? Now successfully.
Yeah.
But again, this is in the test mode only. You see here, this is still in the test mode.
Yeah.
Right. This particular thing. If you click on this detail log, it will tell you, right? It is like what is the planning elements that you have taken here, right? And then all the information it will give. So here, this is the first thing you need to check is whether it is run in the test mode or where is update mode. Okay. So once it is in the test mode, you did not post, but it will show you that it's going to be successful. Okay. So let me right click here and change the parameter set, and then I can remove the test mode to an update run.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can save that. Let's say come here and go here again. I am just now executing. So now it is in the update mode, right?
Yeah.
So now it is successful. Once it is successful, I can go here, and then I can click on the line items here. Normally, if it is posted, it should show what values it is posted. You see, right now you are in the transaction where the plan line items, right? Plan line items here, right? And then data is posted. So now I will pull two fields, right, which we are looking at: customer group and invoice quantity, right? So I will look at the customer group. Customer group is this. I will take that customer group to the front so that I can see the data, and then invoice quantity. That the one which invoice quantity is the one which we copied, right? So invoice quantity. Let's look at the invoice quantity. Right. This is the field I copied, right? So I'll put it together and say, let me see that. Okay. You see, 3 and 4, right? Is copied into version 100, right? So now this is the data which is available in the planning system.
Yeah.
Okay. So that way you have seen the complete cycle of looking at actuals, looking at the plan data before posting, and setting it up the things in the plan layout, right? It's simply, you don't even require any layout, right? You can just go ahead and executing it, right? So I'm coming back here, right? So here I can go back all the way to this particular thing, right? So the plan line items, I'll go back here to my plan data itself, right? So now if you carefully see, my plan data is posted, right? So since it's plan, I can now go ahead and create a layout to display the data also, or I can go to my KE25, right? KE25, and pull that information which you already seen that, right?
Yeah.
I can select that customer group here, and 01 and 02 and the plan data, and I can pretty much take 100 version and created whatever is created for this period. I can go ahead and pull the information here. So this is the plan data which is posted right now. Okay.
Right.
So do you have any questions here on this?
Yeah,
it's pretty.
This is wonderful. So these are
Okay.
Based on cumulative numbers of that particular period. It is copying.
Yes. Yes. Again, what you have seen is like tip of the iceberg, right? There are so many options, right? I mean, unfortunately, I cannot go on showing every option, but when you are experimenting, once you understand the base, right, how it is working, right, and then you can go on experimenting, and even if you are a master, when you are facing the client, then they will always have different kind of questions.
Okay. Now
what will happen is that you have to show them this functionality so that they will come up with ideas. Right, if
the sales manager has done this activity, or the marketing manager has done this activity of planning his sales, how is the pricing now getting into this one? Because if I wanted to have a sales plan, now you have quantity, but where is the sales values here then updating?
Yeah, so the sales values, again, just imagine, right? So do you have actuals? Do you have like revenue values posted? Do you have quantities posted for the previous year? Right?
Okay.
All that values, form your base for your prices. Right? So there is something, something called ratios, right? You can come up with
quantity you increased by, say, you added 5% or 10%, then value you have same value, then the price is going to come down, or price?
Yeah, I mean, say that's what you have to, all these permutations and combinations, right? The price is a product of your, previous year actual revenue and actual quantity, right? And then you can take that price and say, okay, this price I want to increase by 5%, right?
Yeah.
So now that price, let's say it was $100, now it increased to $110, right? And now $110. Yeah. That's what ratios functionality will help you on that. So there is a ratios functionality. I mean, pretty much yes. Within the system you can use that functionality to work on various scenarios. Actually,
I don't know much about SAP COPA Planning. I don't know much about SAP BPC Planning. I know the theoretical or the planning in financial models, how they do. So those things are all available here as such. In COPA
yeah, obviously, right? Yeah, that. I mean, SAP is very smart enough to look at what are the industry standards, and accordingly what is needed for the businesses, right? It came up with ideas, and it came up with planning methods and all that.
Okay.
right?
No, where my question is again going back one step to my same understanding. I'm just learning here. So if we use properly COPA itself planning, not required, not so required to go for BPC if you used COPA properly. Yeah.
No, we have to be very careful, right? So the BPC has got a wider reach, right?
Oh.
Because COPA planning is only within COPA, right? But BPC, when you look at that, you can get values from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's not only limited to SAP.
Yeah, that is the strength of it.
Yes. Just want to give you some more, thoughts here, right? In the copy functionality, when you look at, right, and there is something called important and interesting thing, right? Transformation of characteristics, right? This is what something very important to know, and it's more confusing if you not carefully think of this.
Okay.
So let me go back to the PowerPoint and look at what kind of scenarios it will come out with. Okay. So whenever we say transform, right? So if you go back there, you can say transform. Here I can give the customer group and say transform from C1 to C2, like that I can give, right? So not C1, sorry, here 01 to 02, right? Because these are the values which are existing, right?
Okay.
Say transformation means like when you are processing the data from the reference data, right?
Yeah.
How do I want to reflect this data into my plan is what the transformation here, right? Along with the transformation, you have something called add and cancel. Here there is something called add and cancel. Cancel is nothing but you can also read it as a clear, right? Cancel is also clear. Just read it as a clear, right? Cancel is nothing but clear. Okay.
So you did one planning, then you can clear it off also.
Yeah, no. So that's what I was trying to tell you, right? There is nothing to do with that, right? So now, if you say right now, what we did is we did not do anything on this transformation. We just did from here to here, right? Like we took that reference data and we copied into the plan data. We did that example, right? So that is the reason 3000 came as a 3000 here, and here, and 4000 came as a 4000 here.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a simple, straightforward, right? But if you are using transformation like C1 to C2, right? And then if you do not tick like add and cancel, for example, not checked, not checked, right? So what system will do is, right, C1 will end up 3000, and C2 also will end up with 3000, because you are transforming whatever was there in C1, you also want to transform that into C2, right? So what you did, you just taken C1 value and you copied into C1, and C2 already having that value, right? So here C1 was already having that value, and it will transform that value into C2, which means that 3000 will become the plan value for C1 as well as C2. Okay. So
mistakenly you do all this type of thing, then you can reverse back.
Yeah, you can reverse always back, right? So reverse means again just cancel, or you enter the new values, or whatever the way you want to do it, right? Yeah, that is not a problem. So but here add button will affect on the target, which is C2, right? and cancel clear is affecting C1, which is value C1 transforming into C2, right? Transformation characteristic, right? So then you are saying whatever, if you tick that add, right? So what it will do is that C2, for example, if you tick it like add, then whatever the value which was there in C2 how much was there? C2 was 4,000, right? Now that C1 will be added to C2, then the value will become 7,000 for C2, right? Right, and then look at that only add portion, right? If you do not check it, and C2 will become 3,000. If you check it, C2 will become 7,000, right? And if you don't use this transformation at all, right? Sorry, C2. I am talking of C2. C2 will become 4,000, right? We have seen that 4,000. If you don't use
transformation, basically what it is doing is it is replacing the value there.
That's
if you
correct.
don't check it. If you check it, it is adding to that value.
That's correct.
In
That's
the plan data.
So yeah, that is a functionality of add, right? But in the same time, you have the clear also, right? That cancel.
Yeah.
Cancel is showing the effect on the The cancel is showing the effect on the source, which is C1. For example, if it is checked, which means cancel, which means C1 value will become 0.
Okay.
If it is not checked, C1 value will be retained as it is, like C1 is 3,000 is 3,000.
So if you do not check it,
and there is no effect, like whatever was, we did not do that, right? Just now we did not check it, right? There is no transformation, nothing will happen there.
If you do put, you did not check it, 3,000 is there. And C2, what happens to C2 in that case?
C2 effect is only based on add. Nothing will happen based on the cancel. And whereas for C1, because add works on the target and cancel works on the source.
So what happens is cancel, if you want to do it properly, you check it and do it. That's it.
Yeah, so that that particular field, right, will be wiped off. Yeah.
So if you had some plan values there, even 10,000 value was there, automatically it becomes 0.
Yeah, because that's the way the functionality is working there, right? So again, it's very difficult to understand.
Cancel is used for reversing or clearing off, yeah?
No. So not at all. But sometimes what happens, right? In the process of planning, right? If they are transforming certain characteristics from one to other, they will use this functionality. Okay. So, but I am showing you an example here, right? Because
in the real time, they will say that my customer groups now, I will not be selling to this customer group. I will be selling to a new customer group, but this quantity will move from this area to another area. Or
now you got it. For example, I am copying last year values. Last year I had C1 and C2, but this year I am not going to have any C1. Everything is now C2. Okay. Now what I will do? I will transform from C1 to C2, and then I'll say, okay, check here and check here, so that my C1 will become 0, right? My C2 will become 7,000, which was anyhow 7,000 to start with.
Yeah, you have the quantities anyway, but in a new group. So that functionality, if you want, you have to use transformation.
Exactly. Now you got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, since it is available here, I just wanted to, show you that, because this is a very important piece of information, right? It's very difficult to understand here, so that is the reason I created one, add, clear, and how it is working on C2 and how it is working on C1.
Yeah.
And you can do some example on your own, right? So and at least when you are doing this, I think this would help you out on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this is what the planning is, right? Planning copy, right? So there are a lot of things are there, but we can say here, this is the way
Yeah.
planning copy functionality works, right?
Okay.